Donald Trump's trade war is back, and this time, South Africa is in the crosshairs. In April 2025, the U.S. imposed a 31% tariff on South African exports under President Trump's revived reciprocal trade policy. The impact? Potentially devastating. Let's break it down. First, what's being hit the hardest? Two of South Africa's most valuable export sectors, automotive manufacturing and citrus farming. The auto industry alone exported nearly $2 billion worth of vehicles and components to the U.S. in 2024. Now, manufacturers like BMW, Ford, and Toyota, all of which operate plants in South Africa, are facing huge cost increases. These tariffs could force production cuts, layoffs, or even relocations. Then there's citrus. South Africa exports millions of cartons of oranges, lemons, and grapefruit to the U.S. every year. That industry supports 35,000 jobs. With tariffs now applied, the Citrus Growers Association is warning of mass job losses and a disrupted harvest season. But that's not all. These tariffs may also signal the effective end of AGOA. The African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA for short, was a U.S. trade program allowing duty-free exports from African countries. For South Africa, it's been a cornerstone of trade with the U.S. But now, those benefits are basically gone. And with AGOA set to expire in September, the likelihood of renewal looks bleak. So how is South Africa responding? Government officials have taken a measured tone so far, saying they're still evaluating the impact and preparing their options. Behind the scenes, there are three main strategies being considered. Diplomatic negotiations with Washington to seek exemptions or adjustments. Trade diversification, pivoting exports toward the EU, China, India, and neighboring African countries. And domestic policy tools, like offering financial incentives to shield vulnerable industries, especially auto manufacturing. It's a cautious but calculated response, because there's a bigger picture at play. This trade action doesn't exist in a vacuum. Tensions between the U.S. and South Africa have been rising. From disagreements over land reform policy to South Africa's legal case against Israel at the International Court of Justice, relations have chilled. That's led to cutbacks in U.S. foreign aid, and now, these tariffs. Trump's team argues this is just business. But for South Africa, the economic and political fallout is becoming increasingly personal. So what happens next? If the tariffs hold, South Africa could lose its competitive edge in key global markets. Exports may shrink, jobs may vanish, and the country's fragile recovery from COVID and inflation shocks may stall again. But if the government succeeds in its pivot, South Africa could emerge more economically independent, with new allies and more diverse trade routes. This is Timeline Brief. Subscribe for fast, fact-based breakdowns of global events. And like this video if you want more stories that cut through the noise.